Hello World of Tanks players, you're with Mr. Boiler 007 and you're watching a preview of the Polish tech tree. So open up the tech tree, we can see that Poland has one regular tank per tier. So the first one is the 4TP, based on the UK Vickers tank. It's pretty light, low armored. It was developed pretty late, somewhere around 1937 to 1939. Never entered mass production. Here are some of its characteristics, and this is the gun. This is the 7TP. Of all of the Polish tanks, this is the only tank that entered mass production. 110 of these vehicles were produced. This is how the tank looks like without the upgraded turret. And here is how it looks with the upgraded turret. Here are the values. And here's the gun. This is the 10TP. One of these prototypes were built. Based on the Christie tank, it's pretty maneuverable and mobile, as seen here on these status. It's not really armored, light armored tank. These are the gun statistics and the firepower. The only prototype that did exist was destroyed in the war. This thing is the 14TP. This is its stock turret. It's the 10TP's turret. This is the upgraded turret and the upgraded gun. It's not armored, it is quite mobile, and this is the gun. Tier 5, we entered the medium tank. This thing kind of looks like the higher tier KV tanks or the OIs just because of these little turrets. It's a funny looking tank. It's pretty long, it's pretty high. I'm going to show you how it looks like with the stock turret. This one's a little bit lower. As you can see, the survivability isn't too good. The mobility is quite nice for a medium tank, but maybe the best part is the gun. The 40TP looks like this without the upgraded turret. So this is the stock turret on the 25TP, and this is how it looks with all upgraded. These are the survivability characteristics, the mobility characteristics, and the spotting characteristics. So the survivability increases a little bit, the mobility falls a little bit. But the improvements on the gun stay, so this gun is improving. 240 average damage for a tier 6 medium tank is quite nice. So here we enter the heavy tanks, the 45TP, the tier 7 medium tank, heavy tank. As we can see, it kind of resembles some of the German heavy tanks. From the front, it has 100 millimeters of front hull armor, 170 turret armor. This thing can actually, in a hull down position, bounce a lot of shots. This is how it looks with a stock turret. It's pretty much the turret from the last tank. The mobility values, the concealment values, the spotting values, the firepower, and this is its gun. The gun is improving, and compared to something like the IS gun, it gets a little bit better penetration, a little bit lower damage. Okay, moving on to the tier 8, and as you can see, the turret looks kind of like the turret from the IS-3 tank. This is the stock turret. Funny looking. I'm sorry. So as you can see, the survivability is really nice on this thing. The armor is going up, the turret armor is going up. So this turret armor is now really nice. It's really angled, sloped, really nice values, hull down, pretty impenetrable. This is the mobility, the concealment, and the spotting. 420 damage, really nice. The 50 TP. It's really similar to the 50 TP prototype that's currently available in the World of Tanks. We look at the survivability. The turret's armor got a little bit up, the hull armor a little bit up from the previous tank. The specific power is a little bit lower than on the previous tank, but actually this thing is a little bit lighter than the previous tank. Concealment value, spotting value, firepower, and the most important thing, the gun. Pretty nice average damage. And talking about average damage, let's look at the next tank. The last tank, the tier 10, the 60 TP, the heaviest of them all, gets a pretty increased hull armor, and if you look at it, it's really sloped. Turret armor is again increased and really sloped. Hull down, really hard to penetrate this thing. Mobility is pretty much the same. As we can see, the weight increased to 60 tons. Traverse speed is mediocre for a medium tank. These are the spotting value, the firepower, and this is the gun. Look at this, 750 damage, 250 penetration. Well, actually, compared to the old one, the penetration didn't see a big increase. Actually, it isn't increased at all. But the damage, when this thing hits you, it hits you. And if we look at the design of this thing, it actually quite resembles the Soviet Object 705. Although this thing is a lot heavier and the turret's a little bit further back. So this is gameplay with the tier 10 Polish heavy tank on the let's say new Pilsen map in its HD glory. So as you can see, a shell from that object penetrated my tank, and again the Type 5 heavy penetrated it. Now the chance of them penetrating the turret was small, and as you can see they penetrated that little part below the turret. So the Object 705 is okay. There he bounced shot off of the turret. So the Object 705 is pretty similar to this tank. So it has really good turret armor. So I'm loading in the HE. And again, he didn't penetrate me. And now, regardless of his armor, it's an HE shell, it's going to do some damage. And again, he doesn't penetrate me. So you can see that the armor on this thing is really good. Unfortunately, I knew at that point that my loader was dead, and I used the first aid kit, so I'm now waiting for the cooldown. Here the object misses a shot. But I miss one too. Now I'm getting hit from the side. Now at this point I didn't realize that the HE was still loaded. and I was kind of surprised that it did such a small amount of damage, but then I saw I was shooting HE instead of AP. And here you can see the full glory of this gun, 750 damage off that Type 5 Heavy. Now the map has changed a little bit, actually not a little bit, a lot, from at the right side, or better the eastern side. There are two big hills on each side, and there's a field of charcoal. So this battle is pretty much over. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.